Hi everyone. This is our first daily devotional for Lent of 2021. We're going to go through our devotional book, A Story to Tell. I got the large print version, so it's easier for me to read when I'm doing these videos. You've got the regular print version at home, and hopefully you'll have a chance to read through it. Remember, each page has the reading, a little thought to think, to ponder on for a while, a little devotion that somebody wrote, and a prayer at the end. And I'll conclude this time with that prayer every time we get together here. So I'll read the reading, and then I'll share some of my thoughts, and it may go along with the thoughts that are written here. It may not. It might be totally different because I think different things than some of the writers here. But we begin with the very beginning of Mark's Gospel. And this devotion will take us almost every single verse, every single word of Mark's Gospel. There'll be a few times that we'll skip here and there, little bits, but for the most part, we're going to do the entire thing together. And the devotion as a series is called A Story to Tell. Mark's Gospel is written out almost as a children's story. It's so short, and it's so perfunctory, and it's so immediate. You have to imagine yourself as a child sitting on your parents' lap, maybe sitting on a bed, sitting on a couch, listening to that story being read. And of course, as we do it, we're not going to just read through the story as it is. We're going to do these kind of stops and starts. I'm aiming for about 3 to 5 minutes each video, just to give you a little bit of background ideas. But that hopefully then by the end of our Lenten series, you will want to read the entirety of the Gospel of Mark in one sitting, and it's perfectly capable to do. You could handle that. Take some time and read through the Gospel of Mark all at one go and see that story and hear and feel that lovingness of the story that Mark is wanting to give us. So for Ash Wednesday on February 17th of this year, we start here at the beginning of Mark 1, verses 1 to 3. And Mark begins, "The beginning of the good news of Jesus Christ, the Son of God. As it is written in the prophet Isaiah, 'See, I am sending my messenger ahead of you who will prepare your way. The voice of one crying out in the wilderness, prepare the way of the Lord, make his paths straight.'" Pause. Put a bookmark in it right there. The beginning of the good news. Mark even just starts out right that this is just the beginning, which is really fun because there is no real ending to the Gospel of Mark, right? Mark ends with Jesus being risen from the dead, the women going to the tomb, the women encountering an angel, and the women run away in fear and say nothing to anyone, which always makes me wonder how we get the story. The entirety of Mark's Gospel, is only the beginning. There's so much more to Mark's story, including you and me. And then he says that this is the good news. That's actually a loaded term in the Roman world that Mark is writing. The good news was the result of a Roman victory in war. So Mark is setting the stage already. He's stealing the words from the Roman military in order to try and talk about who Jesus is and what he's doing. And he says he is Jesus, and then Christ was not his last name, despite what your parents used to say when they were mad. That's a title. It means God's chosen. It means the Messiah. And then he says that Jesus, the Christ, is the Son of God. And that is really Mark kind of sticking his tongue out at the Roman emperor. The Roman emperor claimed to be the Son of God. And Mark instead is saying, no, Jesus is the Son of God. And if Jesus is the Son of God, then what we see in Jesus is what we know of in God. And then Mark is borrowing this little passage from the prophet Isaiah. He's changing one of the commas in order to make it work. Isaiah is the voice of one crying out, comma, "In the wilderness, prepare the way of the Lord." And that has a whole lot to do with the story going on in Isaiah. But Mark moves that comma out of the way to say that the voice of one crying out in the wilderness, the one is already in the wilderness, and that's going to be John the Baptist, as we'll see tomorrow. So remember that Mark is just the beginning. Mark is giving us just that little introduction to the story, the good news of Jesus Christ, who is the Son of God. And he's going to start by saying that there are people that are going to make us ready for him. That it's not just a surprise, but like Lent, every year we see it coming, we can plan for it, we can prepare for it. Same thing with the good news of Jesus Christ. We see it coming because people are telling us all about it. So let's close in prayer. God, take what you must from me until I am unburdened and therefore ready to receive what you have for me. Amen. God bless you today.